Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BGM Reviews. Today, we're going to be taking a look at one of the greatest Thomas Wooden Railway items ever, the 1999 Flying Scotsman. He's so big he won't even fit on the whole screen at once. So, without further ado, I guess we should take a look at this guy, because, you know what? He's amazing. Although personally, I do like the 2013 one better. I mean, beggars can't be choosers when you think about it because they're both rare and expensive. And I didn't pay a lot for this guy. I'm not going to reveal that, but it was pretty darn cheap. So you can see on the wheels, 1999, Britt Allcroft, Thomas Limited, Flying Scotsman on the bottom. I really like that Flying Scotsman emblem that would be over his wheel arches. It's really nice. His face, as I'm sure many of you know, this is the wrong face. Like, they based this face off a illustration from Tenders for Henry, but this was what Henry's face looked like, and not the Flying Scotsman's. So that's kind of interesting, but I do like that. I do like the way his wink is. I might redo this, attempt to redo this face and make it look a little bit nicer. He's looking a little worse for wear, in my opinion. And he's got a bit of love, but that's all right. And he has just this random circle, which is like supposed to be like the British Railways emblem, but obviously they couldn't do that. It's the same thing on the other side, and he's got some interesting windows. And this is the first instance of the sloping firebox that Gordon would acquire. The Gordon models would acquire. Gordon always had that sort of sloping firebox. This is really cool. It's almost still like I got this almost 2 months ago, and it's still a little surreal to have this in my hands. So, without further, I guess, without much else to say, we'll move on to his tenders. Now, his tenders are quite interesting. They're much larger, obviously, than most normal Thomas Wooden Railway tenders. So, even just like his front and this, he doesn't fit on the turntable. So that's kind of annoying, but it doesn't really matter in the long run. You can sort of use your imagination and just pretend that he fits or something, you know? It's the whole point. So, and the color actually, weirdly enough, is like sort of a little bit brighter than this green is a little bit brighter than that green. I'm not sure why they did that, but they did. So that's what happened, and this was like one of Roy Wilson's like. I can't remember if this was one of his last contributions or not, but I know that he said that the reason why it has like the big wheels and all this is because it's a caricature, basically. Like that's kind of like a. If you don't know what that is, it's like one of those drawings where the people have really giant heads, and then so it's like more cartoony, sort of. It looks like them, but it has some creative liberties, if that makes any sense. Something interesting. He has the Flying Scotsman name, but on the tender, there's no name. Neither on the water tender either. So that's also why I like the Flying Scotsman, is because he represents an era which we'll never have again, of when steam engines and diesels were like half and half. Like they were phasing out steam engines, but they were still relevant, and diesel engines were just coming in. So that's why he has the two tenders, because there's in England they got rid of a lot of the coaling stages and stuff, so he would need he would have to go somewhere else to get coal than his usual stops. So they added a water tender and made the coal tender have more space to hold coal. Pretty simple stuff, but pretty awesome. So that's about it. Not much else to say about this guy, except if you find him and he's for a really good price, don't pass him up. He's becoming increasingly rare these days, so it's nice to finally have this guy. And this review's gone on long enough, so I'm going to say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks, and goodbye.